This is Do-Rag Wisdom here, folks, and we're about 20 days away from Big Brother. And today I'm going to be giving you my action plan against the birther bastard. And what I did was I prepared notes this time, and usually I don't like to talk to you using notes because I like to let you folks know that I'm speaking from the heart. I don't use any notes. I mean, I know what I'm going to say, basically, but I'm able to speak extemporaneously, and if I have that ability to do that, not that I'm a genius or anything, I'm not, but you know, I'm able to do that, and when I can do that, I will. But today, I did prepare notes, because this is the action plan against the birther bastard, and I wanted to make sure that all the points were made. Now, I want to make this in one broadcast, but it may go over two, I don't know. But let me first start with a quote from President Obama. I got this coffee cup in the, because I donate $50 a month to Act Blue, and they sent me this nice coffee cup. I don't drink coffee, but once in a while I do, you know, but it's not my regular. I like orange juice. Beautiful picture of this wonderful president we had and his beautiful, beautiful wife. I got to tell you something. She's the best looking first lady that I've seen. And here's the quote that he has on the back of it. I hope you can see this. And basically, and I hope it's not out of focus. I try to keep it in focus. The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. And since I suffer from chronic depression, and I do take medication for it, I feel I have to act. If I don't act or do something, I'm going to shoot. I'm too much of a coward to kill myself, and I have too many responsibilities. I mean, I don't want to leave my spouse bereft of her benefits because I blew my brains out or whatever it is. But in any event, we have to fight against the birther bastard. This is the biggest threat to our country's democracy, democratic republic, since the Civil War and since the McCarthy era. So now let me just begin, and again, I'm reading from notes. I apologize. The given is, for this action plan, we are at war, a cold civil war. Okay, a civil Cold War, I should say. And this is these rich, greedy, right-wing, religious extremist bastards against the rest of us. And they're going to take everything away from us. They're going to try to destroy, like Paul Ryan. You got to understand that pricks like Paul Ryan and Ted Cruz are more dangerous than even Donald birther bastard, because they're more intelligent. They have a political ideology, and he's just an ape. He's a naked ape, and they're more like they're still naked apes, but they have more intelligence, and they want to bring back the old days when there was no middle class and the rich were able to have their way with you, your children, everybody. You know, you go to work and have your kid have his arm or her arm cut off or whatever it is in a machine. The rich don't give a shit about us, folks, unless they're people like what's his name? All right. So I recognize we're at war. Now, remember that the birther bastard did not win the popular vote. Remember that only half the country voted. Okay? So what happened because of this, between the Electoral College fiasco and people not voting, you know, like half the country being pissed not voting, we have this perfect storm of the worst possible. The shitheads from the back of the auditorium. The shitheads from the back of the auditorium who, oh shit, my do-rag's coming off. That's so funny. Okay, so the shitheads from the back of the auditorium are, I might as well just let you see my bald ass head. The shitheads at the back of the auditorium who froth at the mouth and they say all kinds of hateful, crappy things. extremist shit. Well, they're now in charge of our country. And you have to remember, because of this perfect storm, we now have a president who hates freedom of speech, who hates freedom of the press, two of the foundations of our rights, the Bill of Rights. So if this isn't war against our democratic republic, I got a bridge to sell you, and I'm sorry for using that cliche. Okay. He and his party are business totalitarian clowns. In business, ladies and gentlemen, I've said this before, it is not democracy. When you're in a business, your boss is the king, and that person can fire you or raise your pay, lower your pay, whatever they want. There is no freedom in business. And the fact that this country has a business birther bastard in office bodes very, very bad for our democratic republic. Okay. And by the way, this creep who's coming in, the birther bastard, has the worst, you gotta know this, the worst approval rating of any incoming president in history. Only 45% of the people in this country think he's gonna do a good job. So, I want to give you some weapons to use, the facts. You have to always say to these people the facts about their shithead, okay? Because he's a liar, and they use the technique of Ingsoc from 1984, and we'll talk about that. Okay, this is the action plan. Do read the quote from the coffee cup. Again, the best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. All right, now I'm going to pause this and continue. Okay, in case anyone is wondering about the music in the background, it's Terrence Blanchard. I love that guy's music. He did the music for Malcolm X, SOS, a lot of Spike Lee movies he's done music for. And he grew up in New Orleans. He has family there. They got effed up during the hurricane, and this music score is about that Hurricane Katrina. This whole music score comes from the Spike Lee documentary. And I wish the guy put out more music. All right. Continue with the action plan, because, again, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to have to look at this creepy face any longer than you have to. Believe me, when I have to look at this face every day, I feel if I could shave or whatever without looking at my face, it would be wonderful. Okay. Now, I donate $50 a month. Me personally, I donate $50 a month to Act Blue. And that's the progressive part of the Democratic Party, and I want the progressives to take over the Democratic Party because the right-wing corporatists have destroyed it. This is one of the reasons why we got this creep in. Another reason. So if you have a political action group, and if you could afford it, I'm not saying I could afford it. I'm on a fixed income because I'm retired, okay? But I owe it to you kids, you millennials, post-millennials, Generation X. I want to leave you a pristine campsite, and I want to do the best, as much as I can, to make sure that's possible, because my generation is really, they dropped the ball in Times Square. Well, they really dropped the ball. All right, make broadcasts like I do. If you have a gift for gab, I'm not saying I do it. YouTube is very good for that. I don't want to be monetized. That means money. So, I don't know how many people are going to subscribe to me, but if I I doubt if I'm going to get so many that they're going to have to offer me monetization. But monetize means money. I hate money unless someone gives it to me free without any obligation. I'm not going to take money to screw you folks over. And the last thing I want is you to have to watch commercials before looking at this. All right, stay up with the political news. All the political news, whether you like the right-wing political noise or you like what I like, Keith Olbermann, Ed Schultz, The Minority Report, when they're not criticizing or hating Israel, the Young Turks, Rachel Maddow, Chris Hayes, Lawrence O'Donnell. These are very good people. Did I mention Keith Olbermann? Because I feel I'm an unofficial member of his resistance. All right. Watch C-SPAN. They give you live stuff that's going on in the where they're killing us. And the reason I'm making this suggestion is because if we're at war, you got to know what the enemy is doing. Usually they hide it. You know, eventually, if we let this creep stay in, he'll try to hide everything they're doing in there. You know, because he doesn't. Okay. So, all right. Now, all right, make sure you stay up with the political news. Do not refer to that piece of shit that as president. He's the birther bastard. That's what I call him. But you can call him anything you want. Keith Olbermann suggested a passive aggressive way of resistance against this creep. Never refer to him as president. To me, I call him birther bastard. That's one of the things I do. Write to your representative. Now, my representative is a Republican shithead named Dan Donovan. So when I start writing him letters, I'm sure he won't answer me, but I'm going to be writing him all the time about this creep. He's a GOP bastard. So I know I won't get far with him. And write to Schumer. I'm writing to my Senator Schumer. Now, he's the head of the minority, so make sure you write to him too. You understand? You write to him also. Write to your senator. You tell these Democrats, if they don't block this shithead, everything, no bipartisan bullshit. Because remember, throughout the entire Obama administration, the mother effing GOP fascist hypocrite scumbags tried to hurt him, block him every step of the way, even the first 2 years when they were in the minority. Remember, the first 2 years of the Obama administration, they were in the minority. So I expect the so-called Democratic Party to do exactly the same thing against that bastard. But they won't, because they're contaminated by corporatists. All right. Get rid of the blue dogs. That's the next thing. The Democratic Party should represent the people. All right? Not the corporations. Not the rich, greedy, liberal sons of bitches. See, you could have right-wing rich sons of bitches, but could also have left-wing rich sons of bitches. And honestly, we want the Democratic Party to be the party of the people. We know it wasn't always that way. We used to have racist shitheads in that party. You should know. But right now, in this time, that has to be the party of the people, or we form another party. Because honestly, corporations and these blue dog right-wing Democrats do not represent us. Okay, this will be continued.